Hey, what's up, everybody? Justin with the Away in the Wilderness channel. Today, what I would like to talk about is the Altoids survival tin. I've been considering putting together one of these tins for quite a while now. And one of the things that I did is I went back and watched some older videos that I have personally seen on these Altoids survival tins or smaller type survival kits. One of the videos that I came across was a video that was released by Blackie Thomas. And if you're familiar with any of the survival bushcraft genres, I'm sure you will have come across Blackie Thomas's channel. The guy is a YouTube machine. He is constantly putting out new and great information on YouTube in regards to these things. And I want to pause for just a second and let everybody know that it recently came to my attention that Blackie has suffered a stroke, from what I understand. And there's a GoFundMe account intended to help Blackie and his family with some medical bills that he's going to incur uh, because of this. And I'll leave a link in the description box below, and I'd encourage you to maybe go and donate to that fund to help Blackie and his family. My prayers and my thoughts go out to him, and I wish Blackie a speedy recovery. And I thank you, Blackie, for all of the great information that I personally have gleaned from you over the last several years. One of the things that Blackie talked about is he kind of used the analogy of a teddy bear in regards to the Altoids tin, is that it's like a small child and a teddy bear. It's meant to bring them comfort, that in a survival situation, this is intended to, or it maybe makes you feel a lot more comfortable if you were to ever get into an emergency situation. But is it viable? I do not believe that it is a viable option to only take this out into the wilderness or out on a long hike or something to that effect. You should always have, in my opinion, a bigger kit that is going to help you get out of an emergency situation. And in my opinion, this is kind of a last ditch effort. It's kind of a it's better than nothing kit. So what I want to do is kind of go over what I keep in mind. So give me just a second. I'm in camera situated, and we'll go over what I keep in my Altoids survival tin. So here is my Altoids survival tin, and around the outside I just have a small Ranger band, help to keep it closed, although this one will stay closed by itself. But I also have around the outside here, kind of making it more, maybe a little bit more water resistant, because there are small holes at the hinges in the back and things like that, is just some Gorilla Tape. And that's just kind of wrapped all the way around the side. And Gorilla Tape can be used for all sorts of things, um, to include flame extender, to use as a piece of tinder to start a fire and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and get that off of there. But that's the first thing that could assist in a survival scenario. So I have that around the outside. When you crack open the kit, see it's nice and organized in there. And when you're putting one of these together, you have to stay pretty organized, because it is very difficult to fit a lot in here. And it helps a lot if you kind of keep things organized and try to come up with the best location for each individual item. So right here on the top, I'll just start from here. Obviously, mini Bic lighter, get a fire going. Obviously, that's what that is intended to do. Right next to that, this is a Whirlpack bag, and this small bag can actually hold 1 quart or 1 liter of water. And the reason I have that in there, because in a short-term survival situation, in my opinion, being able to collect, disinfect, and carry water is going to be pretty important. So along with that, right underneath it, I have, get to it, some Catadine water purification tablets. And those are just underneath that. So I could fill up this Whirlpack bag with water, and I would be able to disinfect that 32 ounces of water with these Katadyn water purification tabs. Right next to that is just a small ferro rod. Again, just another option to get a fire going in an emergency. To go along with the ferro rod, wrapped up in this piece of cotton cloth, which is actually just a piece of a cotton t-shirt, is a striker, a designated striker in here to go along with that ferro rod. And this small piece of cotton could be used with the tin itself to char after I got my first initial fire going. I could use this to char to get a subsequent fire going. I also have some cordage in here. This is the first type of cordage that I have, and this is just some number 12 tarred bank line. And there's probably somewhere between 15 and 20 feet of this, which could obviously help you to bind or lash different materials, saplings, things like that. If you needed to get a shelter made of some sort, this would help greatly if you were wanting to put together some kind of a shelter. My signaling device is this Vargo titanium whistle. Uh, just a signaling option, obviously, for whatever emergency you find yourself in. A way to attract attention to yourself is going to be pretty important, in my opinion. Next thing up here, around this piece of this small piece of fat wood is a bunch of fishing line. I'm not sure exactly how much. I wrapped it around there quite a bit, and just to keep it contained, I have a small piece of Gorilla Tape holding it on there. But it's an option to collect some meat. I'm right next to a small stream right now. There's a small little pond over here to my left. If I absolutely needed to, I could pull this out, pull out some of that line, grab a small pole of some sort, and I would be able to attempt at least at gathering some kind of meat. So I have that, and obviously to go along with that, wrapped up inside of this small bit of Gorilla Tape are a couple hooks, just some small fishing hooks. And to go along with the fishing implements also, I just have a couple small split shots. Now for an emergency, my emergency fire starting device, I have a couple of these Blackbeard fire starters, and these are just fire plugs. I keep a couple of those in there resting on the side, and this is just going to be a quick way of getting a fire going, even in inclement weather. If it's raining, something like that, these are going to burn even when they're wet. They're coated on the outside with some kind of a wax. It's obviously a cotton material, but it's impregnated with an accelerant as well. And I will do a later video on these Blackbeard fire starters, but they're perfect size to fit right here on the side of this Altoids tin. So I have a couple of those that I'll be able to get a fire going basically no matter what. Back here in the back, I have this small Titaner knife, and I kind of threw around the idea of throwing in a small Leatherman. I believe they have the Squirt, or one of the small classic Swiss Army knives or something to that effect. But you start taking up more room the bigger you get this. So this is very slim. It's made out of titanium, and they're replaceable blades on here. And they're obviously razors, so they're razor sharp, but it just gives you some kind of a cutting option, and it folds out. It doesn't lock, but at least you'll be able to cut your cordage. You're not going to obviously be batoning any wood or anything like that with this, but it gives you some kind of a cutting device. And I think it was, I thought it was a pretty cool choice to put in here in a small kit like this. Titaner actually makes a even smaller one than this, and I actually keep that one in a fishing kit of mine just to kind of cut line and things like that, just to have a small little cutting device. So I'll leave a link actually in the description box to this Titaner knife, because I believe that it is a great addition to these small Altoids tins. So I'll leave a link down below to that. Right below that, I just have a small piece of aluminum foil, a bunch of different options that you can use this aluminum foil for. So I keep a small tin of that, doesn't take up hardly any room, as you can fold it pretty flat. And right underneath that, to kind of protect this, I keep that foil on top. But right underneath that, I have a Fresnel lens. And obviously this is going to be for another way to start fire. I could use this if I charred this cloth in my tin. I could use this to harness the rays from the sun to bring this cotton material into an ember. But it just gives me an option to use the sun as a fire resource, and I won't have to utilize any of my other resources. So that is the last thing in there. All right, everybody. Well, I hope you enjoyed that short video going over the contents of my Altoids survival tin. And leave a comment down below on what your thoughts are on these. What you carry in yours, if you do carry one, if you believe that it's a good option. And again, I just want to state my opinion. I do not believe that the Altoids survival tin or these smaller type survival kits like this are something that you would want to take as your only option. I believe that they would work best in a bigger kit to add to a pack, maybe to carry in a breast pocket like I did today, or in your pants pocket, a cargo pocket, something like that. And I do believe that it is better than nothing if it's all you had. But again, I want to stress, I do not recommend that you only go out with one of these. But it is a good uh, mental exercise to see what all you can fit in these things, kind of like Blackie said. So anyway, if you would, guys, I'd appreciate it if you like this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And I will catch you guys on the next video. God bless and have a great day.